We're going to combine today a mixture of mobility and stretch and strength using the roller. There are any number of ways that you can adapt with a soft ball, with a cushion, with a rolled up towel, but quite frankly, I think buying a roller, investing in a roller is well worth it. Just for release work, we can do fascia release, we can do lovely stretchy stuff. So let's just have a play today. I'm recording this one, as I say, so you've got lots of different ideas to dip in and out of. Okay, we're going to start, please, with the roller widthways across the floor. So this is going to be a familiar one that we do with the ball. The roller is more dense. Obviously, it's also much wider. So take the roller so it's sitting just beneath your shoulder blades and take your hands to the back of your head. Take the weight of your head into your hands. Just take a moment, think about your hips in line with each other. Let your head sit into your hands, but I want you just to start in this V position, V sit or even W, by trying to lengthen your spine. So as you support your head, try to push your head diagonally away from your hips behind you and hold that length in the spine. So you can use a ball. If you feel the roller, the other thing is the roller is quite, it's going to push you higher than the ball. So you could use a ball for this. It'd be softer, obviously. You'd be a little lower down. It wouldn't give you as much support from a balance point of view, but it is an option. Now, just allow your head to become heavy and allow yourself to arch over the roller as far as you feel safe to go and just hang. Couple of breaths. You might feel very uncomfortable, and if you do come out of it, of course. And then I want you to breathe out as you take the weight of your head back up. Carry on through the center line and nod your chin and just try and touch your nose to your breastbone. Now, as you touch your nose to your breastbone, tuck your tailbone under you and round your lower back. And again, let's move really slowly. So we are asking our spine to bend to two extreme shapes. So we're going into what's called an extended spine now. Now, with your head sitting heavy in your hands, don't make it just the middle back. What about your lower back? Stick your bottom out. So you're trying to pull your sit bones backwards towards your shoulder blades. You're pushing your ribs towards the ceiling. Now take the weight of your head, lift the weight of your head. Take your time, be very respectful, very considerate of your spine. Gently push the back of your head, take a nod of your chin, and allow your pelvis to tilt. So you're trying to point your tailbone to the ceiling. As you very gently press the back of your head, there's never any force. Let's do 2 more of these. See if you can go a little bit further with each one. But again, be very considerate of your spine. It's a combination of mobility for the spine. And as we arch, we're really enjoying a lengthening, a stretching out of the muscles through the front of the body. And then as we reverse that shape, we're switching those muscles on. So for those of us who like to be sat down, who like to be sort of knees to chest in bed, when we arch over the roller, we're opening up through the front of the body, lengthening that area. And arching is very good for the spine. Going into the extension, when we extend, we're compressing the discs, which may not sound very pleasant, but then when they get a release, that's how they repair. We're pumping that lovely fluid into the spine, into the joints of the spine. So a little bit of spinal compression is really good for us. And again, also, if you've got disc-related issues, don't always want to be going to a very flexed position. You want to be going to a compressed and extended position. We can be really cautious going into an arched back, but unless we've been told to avoid it by any, by a medical professional for any reason, it's a lovely move to make. Okay, now what I want you to do is find your neutral shape. Let your head sit into your hands, and can you lift your bottom up off the floor? Lift those hips right the way up, high as you can, and then lower down and just touch the floor light as you can. and lift. Breathe out as you push your hips to the ceiling. Breathe in as you lower. Your head is completely quiet. Your neck is relaxed. Breathe out as you push your hips to the ceiling. Breathe in as you lower. You're going to do that one more time. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as you lower and lower your head back over. So what we're doing there is switching on the back of the thighs, getting into the glutes. So we've woken up that lower posterior chain. Okay, now pick up the weight of your head again. Let your head feel heavy, but you're fully supporting your head. Now this time lift your hips. So we're going to have a bit of massage here. So you're just going to roll the roller up towards your shoulders, up towards your neck, sorry, and then back down towards your middle spine. So this is a very familiar one. I love this one. I think all of us pretty much benefit. You might have to shuffle around a little bit, I do. You might find your t-shirt gets dragged up. If you've got long hair or a hood, do hold it so you don't choke yourself. And then we start to play around with this one. So tip over to one side and take as much weight onto one shoulder as you can and just give that side a bit of massage. Breathe, breathe slowly. If you need to have a seat and then come back into it, that's completely fine. And then you're going to straighten up and then over to the other side. So just take your time and enjoy this. This is literally massage across the middle, upper back. Now, what's important here, amongst other things, is breathing. Okay, when we hold our breath, we do create tension. And what we're trying to do here is exactly the opposite. We can hold tension in our muscles, in the fascia of the muscles. So breathe slowly, breathe deeply. If something's uncomfortable, come away from it and then go back into it. Let's just have another minute here. So feel free to stay tipped onto one side for a little bit longer and then come back to the other side. Maybe it suits you just to swap each time you move, to swap from one side to the other. You will find what's best for you today. And breathe slowly and deeply. And those muscles that have been contracting and working to support you, to hold you upright, to help you to lift weights, to help you to push things away, they are now being given some love and care and just basically iron out the creases. Okay, we're going to just round this one up. So if you were on one side and you need to square up to the other side, go ahead. You've got about another 2-3 breaths here. And then come back to the center and just take a seat. Wonderful. Now be kind to your neck. Can you just gently press the back of your head and tuck your chin in? Just be kind to your neck. Don't force, never, never, never force anything. Oh, and relax. Wonderful. Okay. Bring yourself, please, up to sitting. And we're going to go into our spine twist. Now, if you're somebody who usually needs to sit on a block, this is going to help you. You're very welcome to use a block anyway, but you may find you don't need to because your knees are supported. And I will always say, if you need a prop, the roller is really useful here, even if it's not a roller class, because it's much better than trying to sit like that. Because if you've got nothing underneath your knees, you'll put a lot of demand into the hip flexors. So grab that roller and your hip flexors can relax because you've got support. Now, I'm going to go into our spine twist, but I want you to make sure the roller doesn't move, because if the roller doesn't move, you know your legs aren't moving. So it's the spine that's rotating, not the pelvis. You can do your YMCA routine with your arms, wherever you want your arms to be. I don't mind, wide across the chest, and let's go. So as I turn away here to my right, I want to be thinking about very, very gently pushing my right hip forward. But again, just by holding the roller still, I know my lower body's staying quiet. To the center and away. So I'm pretty relaxed what you do with your arms. That one's up to you. My focus for this class, this move here, is on keeping those knees still. Now, as you turn, I want you to spiral. I want you to get taller and taller. I want your ribs to draw downwards as the crown of your head travels upwards, Collarbones staying in line. Watch that you don't become rounded through the chest. So keep those collarbones in line with each other and breathe out. As you turn away, grow taller. Breathe into your center. Breathe out as you turn away. Now remember, equal weight under your sit bones, equal line through the knees. Let's do 2 or 3 more to each side. Hopefully, this is really helping you to understand perhaps where you might, I don't like to use the word cheat, that's not fair, but where it may not be getting done quite as efficiently. And what you'll probably notice is you do have equal weight under your sit bones because your lower body is still, so you can get much more attention into that spinal twist. Come back to your center, please. And we're going to go into our spine stretch. So just the same, legs don't move. Arms out in front of you and reach your arms forward, but don't let the roller roll forward. So again, it's a spine stretch. We're not letting the pelvis get involved. And then restack. So rebuild that ball. That ball? What ball am I talking about? Rebuild that wall and sit tall. Now, start with a nod of your head and take your arms out in front of you and reach towards the wall in front of you, but don't let the roller push away. And then roll back up to sit tall. Nod your head. Imagine you've got a beach ball on your lap and you're lifting up and over that beach ball as you reach forward, arms either side of your head, chin tucked in. And roll yourself back up and sit tall. Shall we just do a couple more? So I want you to really feel how you're lifting up and out of your sit bones as your arms reach forward. Now, when your arms are in front of you, really exaggerate that rounded shape. Push your ribs backwards, but notice, in fact, let's all come to that one. Let's do that. Let's all come in. Let's come forward. So your arms are forward. Head sits between your arms. And I want you to push your ribs back, but not let your knees travel backward. So you might find the roller's trying to move. So by keeping the roller still, now push your ribs back, now push your waistband back, and there's your spine stretch. And restack and sit tall. So it's not supposed to be an easy, relaxy, wafty music type of stretch. It's supposed to be a challenge because there's strength involved with the abdominals as we get into that rounded shape. Now, let's take it onto the floor. So what I want you to do, please, is roll the roller away from you, come down onto your back and hold it under your heels. Okay, legs are straight. And we're just going to start with some work through the hips. So your arms are down by your sides. I tend to move my arms around just in case you want to look at me and see what I'm doing. I move my arms out of the way. But your arms will be planted to the floor. Now you're going to bend your knees, pull the roller in towards you. How close can you get it towards you? Coming right up onto tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. That's a spicy one for the hamstrings. Then push it out away. Flex your feet so that your legs straighten. Okay? Bend your knees, put it in towards you and come right up onto tiptoe. If you can, that may be a little intense for you. That's fair enough. Push it away. Flex your feet and lengthen. Now, just when you thought, oh, that's okay. This is fine. I can do this. Tum-ty-tum-ty-tum. I want you now to think about the shape of your spine. So the idea is that no matter where you are in this move, your spine doesn't change shape. You've got that lovely natural pelvis. So I'm going to ask you to prod around with your hands, your collarbones, find your collarbones, find your hip bones. They should be exactly in line all the time. So if your hip bones are lower than your collarbones, your back is trying to arch, which it may well try to do. So what I would say in that case is that you don't make the move as large. Reduce it and focus on a correct postural position, and we progress it from there. Now, the next time the roller comes in towards you, I want you just to hold it and then just lift your head and just check that it's in line. You haven't got one end of the roller closer towards you. Then lower your head, push it away from you, And just again, lift your head and do the same thing. Because I can see I've got a dominant side, and I can see that one side of the roller is already slightly closer to me. So that's telling me that that side is working harder. Relax your head. Let's do 3, 4 more. And if you found the same things happen for you, just focus on the side that wasn't working as hard and ask for a little bit more effort there, please. Could try harder on your school report. So imagine the length of the roller staying exactly in line. Okay. So again, it's a way of having variety, which I love, but also it's just different ways for us to understand our movement and to get feedback. So this is just something where you think, oh, I didn't realize that when I slid my feet in, I tended to tip my weight over to that side being the side that's pulling up towards you. Right, I know I need to put a little bit more focus onto my opposite side, make that opposite side work harder. Okay, relax this time, push the roller away and hold it under your heels and pull your toes right up to the ceiling. So you're going into a really strong flexion. And now point your toes. Again, try not to let the roller move. And flex. It's a really good one for ankle strength and mobility. And point. So pull your toes right back up to the ceiling. Push your toes towards the wall in front of you. It's quite achy. Do you find that? I find definitely in my shins, it's quite an achy one when I flex. We're just going to do a couple more. So this whole little sequence here is very much hip mobility, alignment, precision of movement, and really getting into those ankles as well. Now relax, just relax and just give your feet a little wriggle, okay, just a little shimmy. Now we're going to go for some rotation. So I want you again to flex your feet so that your feet are flat up against the wall in front of you. And I want you to turn your feet out. Charlie Chaplin, Mary Poppins. And then bring your feet back to the center. And again, turn your feet out. Now again, you might get a bit more feedback here than when we do this with our feet on the floor, just because your feet are elevated slightly, so you can get a little bit of a freer movement through the hips, perhaps. Okay, just when you thought this was fine tum-ty-tum, here I come again. Old Bossy Boots is in the room. I want you to, again, make sure that wherever you go on that turnout, your back isn't getting involved. So I want you to really think about how the thigh bones rotate in the hip sockets. Okay? So you're not letting your hips tip forward and backward. Let's just do 1, maybe 2 more like this. It's quite an achy one, isn't it? Getting into those hips. Okay, come back and again, just give your feet a little wriggle. We've got 1 more exercise to do here before we move on. Now we're going to revisit pulling the roller in and out, but this time we're going to do it with 1 leg. So I want you to bring your left leg into tabletop. Okay, and now pull the roller in just with your right leg. Right up onto your toes if you can. That may be too intense. And then push your leg away. Okay, let's do that one again. Remember, you're keeping your spine quiet, putting the roller right up and push it away. 1 more time, right the way up and push it away. Okay, hold it. Now, with your right leg straight on the roller, I want you to bring your left knee closer to your chest. Now, this time, as you pull the roller towards you, stretch your left leg straight out, right knee towards you. Left knee to your chest, right leg long. What is that spine doing? Is it trying to get involved? Try not to let it. A lot more abdominal focus here than one might have thought. Push the roller away, knee to chest. Take your left leg long, right knee in, and whoa, you've got to work those tummy muscles. Let's do 2 more. Arms are long by your side, shoulders are heavy. Watch that your roll is not hitching up on one side. Let's just do that 1 more. Remember that your left knee needs to come right up in towards you as well. Whoops, where have I just gone? And again. And and come back in and relax. Okay, now what I'm going to get you to do, please, is just put your heels in front of the roller, so your feet are on the floor, tip your hips backwards and come up into a bridge. We're just going to lengthen through the front of the pelvis, just give those hip flexors a stretch there. Just hold it, because obviously we've got another side, but my goodness, it gets into the front of the hips, doesn't it? So just push your hips towards the ceiling. Whew, and curl back down. We're going to do that one more time. Again, tip your hips back, roll yourself up, push your hips towards the ceiling. Hold it here a moment. And roll back down. Okay, we have got the second side to do. So if just like me, you just messed it up at the end there, you might need to shimmy about, just get your roller straight again. Left foot onto it, right leg into tabletop. Push it away so that your left heel is on the roller, right leg in tabletop. Right leg doesn't move to start with, okay? Now just check in here. Think about the shape of the pelvis, collarbone, hip bone. Again, make sure they're in line. And then bend that left knee, pull the roller in towards you. You're trying to have your knees in line if you possibly can. That's how close you're trying to pull it in. But remember, that may not work for you today, and it may be something you work towards. So you need to have strength in the back of the thigh. You need to have that permission in the front of the hip to allow you to get that far. Also, your knee. It's quite an exaggerated flexion of the knee. Maybe your knee doesn't want to bend that far. Given that your foot is off the floor, it's quite intense over the front of your knee. So fair enough, you know, you will adapt, won't you? Now take your left leg long and hold it. Now bring your right knee closer to your chest. So a little bit of focus into the front of the hip. Let's get both legs working. We're going to pull the roller in as we send the right leg straight. Now, how high or low your right leg goes is dependent on the strength of the abdominals and what's happening in your lower back. So as always, you only send that leg away from you as low as where your lower back isn't getting involved. Let's just do that one more time. It's a really super abdominal exercise. Just sort of sneaks up on you. Don't really expect it. Okay, fabulous work. And relax. And I want you, please, to take both legs out long, take both arms overhead and come into a full body stretch. Stretch away. Now we're going to come into a roll up. I'm going to give us a way to adapt it. So if the roll up is something that you know is a bit tricky for you, don't worry, bear with me. We're going to try to keep the roller as still as possible. Now, what I want you to do to start with is bring your hands down and put your hands palms down, slide your hands into the curve of your lower back. Now lift your head, press into both hands, push yourself up and roll yourself up and into your stretch. So if you know that the roll up can be a bit tricky, that's a really super way to adapt it, okay? So you're very welcome to work like that. Okay, legs out long, sit tall. Now you're going to want to go whizzing back. Try not to, but a really great way to anchor is I want you to, as you roll back, I want you to push your heels forward, okay? Take your time. If you crash, so be it. You've got your hands. You can find your way if you need to. So start to roll off your sit bones. But as you do so, push the roller away from you. Keep pushing it away. Keep pushing it away. Keep pushing it away. Take your arms overhead as you take a breath in. Remember, you've got the option of popping your hands under your lower back. Whichever way you do it, as you roll up, pull the roller in towards you as you come into that stretch. Reaching forward, pull the roller towards you. Now in your forward stretch, remember, don't sit in front of your sit bones. Stay on top of them. And as you roll back, tilt your pelvis, push the roller away from you. Take your arms overhead into a full stretch, reach away. Lift your arms, take a nod of your chin, roll up, and as you roll up, pull your heels in towards you. Get that rounded shape So you're not hinging at the hip, it's an up and over. So as you reach your hands forward, remember you're pushing your ribs backwards, you're pulling the roller back towards you. Let's do that one more time. Curl away through a beautifully rounded spine, all the way, away, 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 away. Great, send your arms away. And then again, you've got the option of popping your hands in underneath your lower back. That's a really great way just to adapt. And then into that forward stretch. And relax. Fabulous work, everybody. Well done. So we're going to come from here over onto our side. And what I want you to do, please, you can have your head propped up if you like. You can have your head out long. You can always pop a block between your head and your lower arm. And I want you to start with your feet stacked. Hips are stacked. Okay, feet are stacked. And we're just going to start working with the upper leg. But the idea is, again, that wherever we go with the upper leg, the lower leg holds the roller still. So, you know, I often talk about how the static area is a stabilizer. So I want you, whatever we're doing with the upper leg, I want you to think about constantly trying to push the roller away from you. Okay, now lift your upper leg to hip height, flex your foot. You're going to bring your leg forward, little kick, 1, 2, point your toes, take your leg back behind you, 1, 2, flex your foot, kick your leg forward, 1, 2, point back, 1, 2, push the roller away from you. It'll give you more stability through the upper body. Push, 1, 2, come back to the center, flex your foot, keep pushing the roller away from you, and circle 3. Don't let that lower leg sneak in. Don't let it creep in towards you. Push it away. And 1. So hopefully you feel that because you've got that connection there, you're far more stable through the upper body. Come to the center now, point your toes and reverse that circle. Reach out of your toes. Make both legs as long as you can. Come back to the center and relax. Now, what you're going to do is put your upper leg on the roller in front of your lower foot. Flex your lower foot and lift and lower that lower leg. Lift. Now, you're holding the roller still with your upper leg. Okay, lift and lower. Great. Upper leg straight if you can. Let's lift and lower. And again, don't let that lower leg sneak forward. Keep your heel in line with your sit bone. Okay, now lower your leg back down. If you feel this is going into your lower back, just make sure that your hips are in line. Don't lift quite so high. If it's still a problem, do everything that we're doing, but have both feet on the floor. Because you've got your legs higher, that's giving you more challenge in that respect. So everything that we're doing, both legs on the floor rather than on the roller. Now your lower leg becomes your anchor. Flex the foot, upper leg, toes are pointed, lift up, and take your leg right out behind you, tap, up, right out in front, tap, up, right out behind you, tap, lift, and tap, and tap, and tap. Let's do a couple more, and tap, and tap, and come back to your center. Stack your feet. Now what I want you to do, feet on top of each other, and come up onto your elbow on your lower side. And you're going to bend your knees, and you've got your knees bent, heels stacked, and then push out and away. Bend in, bend your knees, pull it in. Whoops, where am I going? And push it out and away. And I want you to really connect into your waist on the lower side. Bend, pull your knees in, feel the connection, waist lower side, and push it out. Hold, lift, and lower. Pull in, push out, lift, and lift. If your shoulder doesn't like that, you can do it here, okay? Please don't upset that shoulder. You can work here. Otherwise, let's just do 3. Pull in and push out. I want you to really feel the waist working. lift and lower. Just two more like this. Pull in and push away. Great. Let's do that one more time. Bend in, push away, and lift and lower. Marvelous work. Okay, little bit of an achy one. Now we're going to come over onto our front. Okay, so those of you who did the wool class with me, this is very similar. It's a different way to find that connection. We're going to go into our swimming. All right, your arms along, your head is on the floor. I'm going to keep lifting my head because otherwise I'm too muffled, but your head at the moment is on the floor. And I want you, please, just to lift one straight leg off the roller, lower down, lift the opposite side, and lower down. And again, lift. Now, if you need to bring your hands under your head for this one, that's fine. Remember, you've got the option of putting your legs on the floor and working without the roller, okay? Let's do one more on each side. Now, what I want you to think about is when you lift your legs, you're trying to push the roller away from you. Now, we're going to bring our arms into it. If that's too intense, you're very welcome to carry on as we did just now. Legs only, no arms. Otherwise, can you lift your head and chest? You're going to lift one leg and the opposite arm. The leg that's on the roller, push it away. Push, push, push. Lower back down. Opposite leg to opposite arm. Reach your fingertips forwards. Reach your toes backward. And lower. Hips stay in line. Lengthen. Reach out of your fingertips. Reach out of your toes. So technically, the roller shouldn't move. But you've always got that sense of trying to push it away behind you. How long can you make yourself from your tips of your fingers to the ends of your toes, hips square to the mat? Let's do one more each side. You may find that lifting your leg off the roller is too high, in which case you would have kicked it away and be working on the floor. Okay, relax and bring it all back down. That can be quite an intense one. Come up into 4-point kneeling. Please have a little release, have a little stretch. I'm just changing ends of the mat so that I'm still facing you. And we're going to come on to our second side now. All right, so up and over. Remember, you've got the option of resting your head on your lower arm, propping yourself up, whatever suits you. So feet are flexed, and again, you're trying to push, rucked up there, trying to push the roller away with your lower leg. So let's just lift that upper leg. So the focus in our side leg is always about staying quiet through the spine, collarbone, hip bone, always the same, collarbone, hip bone. So we're not rocking like this when our leg travels. So you're going to bring your leg forward. It's a little kick, 1, 2, point, and back, 1, 2. So that's why if you speed it up, it's a bit more challenge. If you travel further, it's a bit more challenge. Totally up to you. You will adapt it to make it right for you today. Take your leg back. Now remember, you're trying to push the roller away. Kick, kick. Back to the center. Flex your foot. Your hip is the center of the circle. Up, out, around. Now when you're taking your leg back, watch you haven't rolled forward. So stay quiet through the center. Forward, up, and around. So that's where the strength comes in, through that center. If you want to challenge yourself a bit more, take your hand away. Back to your center, toes pointed, reverse. So no matter where your leg goes, there should be no movement here. That's really your focus, as well as keeping that lower leg long, pushing the roller away with that lower leg. We've got one more here. Out and around. Come back to the center. Oh, and lower. You're going to bring your foot onto the roller in front of the lower leg. Hold it still with the upper leg, and with your lower leg, lift and lower. Give it a really good squeeze. Now remember, please don't compromise your lower back. If this is intense, you'll work with your feet on the floor. Okay, let's do 2 more here. Squeeze into that inner thigh. Lift and lower. So really good strengthening for the inner thigh muscles there. Lift and lower. Now, Keep the roller, push the roller away, keep your lower leg long. Upper leg, we're going to lift up and tap. Now, when your leg goes behind you again, you shouldn't be rolling forward. Lift and tap, lift and tap. So although we know the burn is in the upper hip, focus is in strength through the center to hold that spine still. Let's do a couple more. So no matter where your leg goes, your collarbone, hip bone stays true, breastbone, pubic bone, whatever you want to imagine that alignment through the spine. Let's do that one more time. Okay, super work, well done. And bring it back home, both legs on top, and come up onto your elbow. Remember, that's only a suggestion. If you prefer to keep your head down, that's completely fine. All right, we're going to bend those knees, pull it right. Oops, I've done it again. Right the way in and push away. Now, when you push away, don't sink down. So pull up, get into that waist. If you're here, you can still pull up into your waist here, okay? As you pull in, don't collapse your ribs. Keep that connection and push away, all right? So you're bending your knees and your ribs are going to want to drop down. Your spine is going to want to sink downwards. You're not letting that happen. You're using this band around the center to keep you in line and push away. Keep those hips in line. Make sure that your upper hip isn't rolling away behind you. Keep it stacked above the lower hip. Let's do 2 more here. And we're going to just do that one more time. And push away. Fabulous work. I'm just going to twizzle around to change ends of the mat. And what we're going to do here now is just put the roller to the back of the knees, down onto our backs, lift up those hips, and then pull it in and under our lower backs. I love to finish with some work here. It's such a great way to open through the hips and give those abdominals a bit of a stretch. So I want you gently to slide your heels away from you. Let your feet separate. Let them go wider. Open through the front of the pelvis and take your arms up and overhead. Stretch it away. Superb. Just feel that lengthening through the front of the body. And relax your arms back down. Bend your knees and bring your feet onto the floor. Now make sure the roller is under your hips, so it's not in the squishy bit above the hips, below the ribs. Make sure you feel supported, and then bring your knees into your chest and just enjoy that stretch through your lower back. Let your knees feel heavy. Now we've had a little bit of focus in the backs of the thighs, so we're going to give them a stretch. Take both legs to the ceiling. And I want you just to bring one leg over towards you. Keep your legs straight as you can. If you want to use your hands, you're very welcome. But watch that both legs stay straight. Back to the center. And then your second leg back towards you. Enjoy that stretch through the back of the thigh. Imagine your foot has become really heavy. See your leg come back in towards you. Make sure that leg stays straight. Back to the center. This time, both legs together. Pull your feet back towards you. Feel that stretch in the back of the thighs. And come back up. Let's just do that one more time with each one. So one leg comes back towards you. Both legs straight. Feel the stretch through the back of the thigh and come back up. Second leg comes in towards you and come back up. Both legs together and feel that stretch. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, a little push onto the roller and come up and over and give that lower back a little release. That may not suit you, in which case you'll stay where you were. And curl gently back down and finish with your legs to the ceiling. Last but not least, we're just going to release those hips. Take your feet right out as wide apart as you can. Circle them around and back in. Right out and away. Now, listen to your back. Don't take your heels any lower than where you feel safe. Right out and around. Come back, and we're just going to reverse it. Big full circles right the way around. Great work, everybody. Well done. Quite a lot of strength, but as I say, keep throwing in some mobility and also awareness. I feel so strongly that I want, just relax, bend your knees. I want you to always be learning and understanding how your own body works. You know, what are the restrictions, where you excel. It's important. Every class that you feel you've really achieved something, it shouldn't always be a challenge. It should be, you know, I did that thing really well. I'm really pleased with myself. So let your knees drop into your chest. Let your lower back relax. And then from here, bring one foot to the floor. Then your second foot. Lift your hips gently. Take your time. Push the roller away. Curl yourself back down. And let's just finish with a full stretch. Perfect work, everybody. Well done. Bring your arms back down. Bend your knees. Roll to the side. Push yourself up to sitting. And stretch tall. Absolutely superb. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, anything in that class that didn't make sense or any of the other classes in the library, you know how to find me. Otherwise, marvelous work. Well done. Thank you.